Have you ever felt like you're just stuck? Like you've been studying Chinese, you know the words, you know the grammar, but when you try to speak, it just doesn't sound natural. Well, today we're going to break that cycle. We're diving into 3 powerful ways to take your spoken Chinese from sounding like a textbook to sounding like the real deal.
Does this sound familiar? You've poured years into studying. You've memorized flashcards, you've done the exercises, but the second you're in a real conversation, your mind just goes blank. That jump from the classroom to the real world feels like a massive canyon you just can't cross.
I'm telling you, if that's you, you are so not alone. This is probably the most common frustration for language learners, and there's a name for it, the textbook trap. It's that awful feeling, that gap between knowing about Chinese and actually being able to speak it. So what's the deal here? Well, look at this. The skills that get you an A on a test, like memorizing vocab lists and knowing every single grammar rule, are almost completely different from what you need in real life. You can get a perfect score on a reading exam and still freeze up the moment a native speaker asks you for directions. We've been training for a sprint when we really need to run a marathon.
Okay, so how do we escape this trap? Principle number 1 is an absolute game changer. You have got to start listening at normal speed. It's all about training your brain for the real world, for the actual speed and rhythm of the language, not that super slow artificial stuff you hear in beginner lessons.
And listen, this isn't just some theory. The person who came up with this method, Minnie, actually used it herself when she was learning English. She didn't bother with slow-mo English. No, she jumped right into the deep end, listening to native content at its natural pace. It was hard, for sure, but that's what unlocked everything for her.
So, how do you actually do it? It's really just 3 steps. First, find content made for native speakers, TV shows, podcasts, whatever. Now, step 2, this is the toughest one for most of us. You have to be okay with not understanding everything. Just let go. Seriously, it's fine. And finally, just focus on the rhythm, the flow, the music of the language. Your brain is amazing at finding patterns. You just have to give it a chance.
And that first principle leads perfectly into our second one. To make words actually mean something and stick in your brain, you have to learn them in real-world scenes. It's all about connecting the language to your actual environment.
What this really means is, you have to stop memorizing abstract lists of vocabulary. It's time to start experiencing the language. Think about it. There's a huge difference between seeing the word for apple on a flashcard and learning it while you're actually holding an apple in your hand. One is just data, the other is a memory and experience.
And the best part? You can start doing this right now, today. You don't have to fly to China. Just walk into your kitchen, point at things, say their names in Chinese. Do it in your living room, your bedroom, at the mall. This makes learning immediate, useful, and way more effective.
All right, this brings us to our third and maybe the most crucial principle of all, thinking directly in Chinese. This is the final boss of fluency, right? It's all about breaking that slow, clunky habit of translating everything from your native language in your head.
The goal here is simple, but it's a big one. We want to completely cut out the middleman. We want to get to the point where there is zero translation happening between seeing something and knowing its name in Chinese. It needs to be an instant, direct link. This slide shows it perfectly. On the left, that's the translation trap. It's slow, it's clunky. You see a phone, your brain goes cell phone, and then it searches for the Chinese word shouji. But look at the right, that's direct association. It is instant. You see the phone, and your brain's very first thought is shouji. That's the speed we're aiming for. That's native level speed. So, this powerful idea is called direct association. To put it simply, it's when you see something and your very first thought, your immediate reaction, is the Chinese word itself, not a translation from English or any other language. That's the mental muscle you build every single time you practice learning in scenes.
So when you put all these pieces together, listening at full speed, learning in real scenes, and aiming for direct thought, it becomes way more than just a few study tips. It's a complete shift in your mindset. You stop being a passive student who memorizes things, and you become an active experiencer of the language.
So, what's your new toolkit for speaking naturally? It's these 3 things. 1. Train your ears with the real speed of the language. 2. Connect words to the world around you. And 3. Rewire your brain to think directly in Chinese. It's a whole new system. And you know, if there's just one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. The path to speaking naturally isn't about studying harder. It's not about more hours with the same old methods. It's about having the courage to learn differently.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Take a look at how you're learning right now and ask yourself, are you just studying a language or are you learning to live it? The answer could change everything for you.